Hello friends, welcome to the course Exploratory Data Analysis for Data Science with R software. You can recall that in the last lecture we started a discussion on the requirement of the functions and commands of the R software for this course. And in the last lecture we had a small overview about what is really needed. Now from this lecture and in the next couple of lectures we are trying to understand that what are the basic functions and type of syntax and commands which are required to understand the contents of the course. So now in this lecture we are simply going to address very small concept of how are you going to use the R software as a calculator. So I will try to show you these things on the screen as well as on the R software also. So let us begin this lecture and try to understand how this R can be used as a calculator. Okay, so now in this lecture we are going to talk about some basic fundamental and R as a calculator. Right. So one basic fundamental is that what we have already discussed, this greater than sign is the prompt sign. Right. And this is actually the point where after which you start writing your syntax and commands. Next is the assignment operators. You have to understand one thing, that in R there are two types of assignment operator. One is like this one, less than and hyphen, and second one is equality sign. So the history of R software is like this, that when R software was developed, then in the beginning this operator less than hyphen was used as an assignment operator. Later on this equality sign was also introduced. So that is why you will see in many books at many places this less than hyphen sign is also there, but you don't please get confused. Yeah, sometime you may also see in my slides also, sometime I may write this symbol less than hyphen. The reason being that this R software was born before me and I have seen the birth and development of this R software. So when I started learning it, then I was using only the first operator. Later on I switched to the equality sign. So for all practical purposes, both the operators we will give you the same outcome. So in case if you write x less than hyphen 40, this means x is assigned the value 40, or the value 40 is assigned to the variable x. And similarly, if you try to write x equal to 40, then also it has the same interpretation, that the value 40 is assigned to x, right? And these are here screenshot that you can actually see, right? Okay, so similarly, it is possible in R to assign a variable to another variable also. For example, if I write here x equal to 40, then if I define here new variable y as x into 3, then this means the value 3 into x is assigned to the variable y, right? And if you try to operate it on the R console, you will see that once you operate y is equal to x into 3, then y comes out to be 120, which is x is 40 into 3 is equal to 120. And similarly, if you assign now the variable x minus y to another variable here z, then also if you try to execute it on the R console, it will give you the value x is here 40, y here is coming out to be 120, this will come out to be minus 80, 40 minus 120. So the objective of this slide is to explain you and to make you understand that a value can be assigned to a variable, as well as a variable can also be assigned to a variable. So this is required in the programming. Next command is hash sign. This hash character marks the beginning of a comment. Whenever we are trying to write a program, it is a good practice to give the details of the program inside the program itself, so that anybody can understand it. So one simple way out is that you can start writing the sentence with the first character as hash. So as soon as you write the hash key, the R will understand that the statement on this line is not to be executed and it is only a comment. So and all the correct until the end of the line, they are ignored. For example, I can write, say here, hash mu is the mean, hash x equal to 40, if I write, then it is treated only as a comment and nothing will work here, right. Another important aspect of R is that R is a case sensitive. That means lowercase alphabets and uppercase alphabets, or in simple language, capital letters and small letter alphabets, they are treated differently. For example, in case if you write capital X is equal to 40 and small x is equal to 40, or the uppercase X to be 40 and lowercase x to be 40, then these are two different things, right. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Now on this console, if you try to look at it, when I am writing lowercase x equal to 40, then x gives me the value 40. But if I try to see what is the value of uppercase X, capital X, then it says that object X is not found. But on the other hand, if you write now here uppercase X is equal to 30, and if you write capital X, it will give you the value 30 and small x will remain as say 40, right. So before we try to go forward, let us try to first understand these things on the R console itself so that you feel confident about it, right. So you can see here, I can write down here x is equal to say here 40. Now x here is 40. Now if I try to define here as y is equal to 3 into x, then you can see here 3 into x is stored in y and the value of y is 120. And if you try to store here, write z is equal to y minus x, then you can see here the value of z is coming out to be 80, right. 120 minus 40, that is 80. Now similarly, if I try to show you here what is the small x here is 40, but if I try to show you here what is the value of here capital X, you can see that object X is not found. But on the other hand, if I define here capital X is equal to 100, then you can see here that capital X will come out to be 100 and small x will come out to be here 40, right. And on the other hand, if I try to write down here a hash key, say x is equal to say here 78. Now you will see here there is still x is here 40. It is not considered by it as a mathematical value, right. So this is what exactly I wanted to show you. So now the next factor which I want to illustrate here is about the command C. When I am writing like this C inside parenthesis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means it is going to combine all the values as a data vector. You have to be here a little bit careful that when I use the word vector, vector has several meanings in mathematics. But in R, when I say it's a vector or a data vector, that means it is simply trying to combine all the values in one variable. So what is the meaning of this? Suppose I want to execute some program and I want the variable to read all the 5 values. So if I try to write down, suppose if I say write y is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separated by comma, then it will not read. It will say there is some unexpected error. Similarly, if I try to write y as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separated by comma and inside the parenthesis, then again it will say unexpected. But when I write y is equal to c 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside the parenthesis separated by comma, then y will give me here the value here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the meaning of this command here C. So that's an important command. Now after this, if you want to do the addition in R software, then the symbol is the usual one, plus sign. And if you write here 5 plus 3, this will come out to be here 8, and you can see here in the screenshot also. Similarly, if you try to multiply, then the symbol is star like this. So 5 into 3 will be here 15. And similarly, if you want to do the subtraction, then the usual sign as in the calculator is this minus sign. So if you write down here 5 minus 3, it will come out to be here 2. And similarly for the division, the sign here is 5 divided by 2, 5 oblique 2, which is the same as in the usual normal calculator, right? So 5 divided by 2 will come out to be here 2.5, right? And similarly, if you want to do the hour operation, that means if you want to write down here 3 square, then this can be written here as say 3 hat 2, and another option is 3 double star 2. So in order to do such hour operation, there are 2 options. Either you can use the symbol here hat or double stars. So if you want to write 3 square, then it can be written here as a 3 hat 2, answer will come out to be 9, or 3 double star 2, the answer will come out to be here 9 in both the cases. That you can see here very easily. Similarly, if you want to find out the square root of 3, so one option is that you can write down here as a 3 raised to the power of 1 upon 2. So this is equal to 3 raised to the power of 0.5. So one can write down here 3 raised to the power of 0.5 or 3 double star 0.5. So it will give you the value 1.732 in both the cases, right? So you can see here, even if your hours are integer or decimal, both will work here without any problem. And similarly, if you want to find out here the value of 1 upon square root of 3, then can be written as a 3 raised to the power of minus 0.5. So the same thing can be written here as a 3 hat minus 0.5, right? So this value will come out to be 0.577 and so on, right? So this is how you can see here the things will go. And if you want to use more than one operator at the same time, then the usual math operators of arithmetic, which is BODMAS. BODMAS means the bracket, then orders, that means exponents and roots, then division, multiplication, addition, and finally subtraction will happen in this order. So suppose if I try to write down this function as 6 plus 5 minus 4 into 3 plus 2 divided by 4, then this operation will be followed using the BODMAS rule, right? So let me try to show you these things over the R console so that you become more confident. So you can see here, so let me clear the screen by pressing Ctrl L. And now if I try to see here, suppose if I want to say here y is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will see that it is giving me an error. And in case if I want to write down here like this, y is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within the parenthesis, still it will give me this error. But if I write here with the C command, you can see here this is coming out to be like this without any error, and the value of y here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the values have been stored in a data vector, right? Similarly, if you want to do here addition, so 3 plus 6, you can see here this is 9. This is for addition. This is for multiplication. 3 into 6 is 9. Then if you want to make here a subtraction, 6 minus 3, here is 3. And similarly, if you want to divide 6 divided by 2, it is equal to here 3. And if you want to do the hour operation, the power of 6 raised hat through, if I say this is 6 into 6 is 36, and the same thing can be written as 6 double star 2. This can be written, this is the same as 36, right? And similarly, if you want to find out here the square root of 6, so 6 raised to the power 0.5, which is here 2.449 and so on. And if you want to find out the value of 1 upon square root of 6, then it is 6 hat minus 0.5, which is here something like 0.4082. And yeah, if you want to do like operation where you want to use more than one operator, I can say here 8 into 9 plus 7 minus 6, and then say hat 3, I can say 6 minus 7, 6 hat 3 divided by here 4. You can see here this answer will come out to here like this. Yeah, who can solve it mathematically also, right? So with this short lecture and short introduction to the R software for using it as a calculator, I am completing this lecture. And you see, it was a very simple option which all of us know, but it is important for me to get it revised so that you are not in trouble and you can also revise the content what I want. But here my job is done, but your job starts here. That I would say that if you are not so confident about such operation, try to do this operation manually and then try to do it on the R software, and then try to match that how you are thinking, whether the R is thinking in the same way or not. And the use of brackets is also done exactly in the same way, but the only thing is here is that when we are trying to use the bracket, there is only this simple bracket is used, no curly bracket or square brackets are used. So this is the same story as it happens in all the softwares. But the more important part here is that you have to understand how R is thinking. You have to follow the rules of the R. R will not follow your rules actually. So it's important that you try to do some very elementary this calculation manually, and then try to do it in the R software, and then try to see whether they are matching or not. This is important because later on when you want to give the instructions to R to compute something, then R should also understand what exactly you are trying to say, and you should also understand what are the rules you have to follow, so that R also follows the same thing which you want to say. So you try to practice it, and I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.